Hi there, it's Nina Nandagopal at almostpractical.com, and today I want to review with you the Erin Condren Goal Setting Petite Planner Journal. This book is a great way to set goals and create new habits. And right now it's January, so this is actually a really great time to do it, but it doesn't have to be January for you to set new goals. You can certainly do this anytime throughout the year. So the Petite Planner Journal is really wonderful because it kind of guides you through the process. So you don't forget your goals, you don't leave out steps to create that you need to create a good goal, and you can monitor the progress towards your goal. And all of those things are very important parts of creating successful goals. I'm sure you've heard of SMART goals before, S-M-A-R-T, and that is an acronym for specific, which is the S, A for, I can't even spell, S is specific, M is measurable, A is achievable, R is relevant, or sometimes realistic, and T is time-bound. And those 5 items are very important parts of creating goals that you can succeed at. So the more specific you are with your goal, the better and more likely you are to achieve it. Measurable is very important because that means that you can track your progress and know how you're doing compared to where you want to be. So throughout the whole process, you can say at your halfway point, how close am I? Am I really halfway there? Achievable means that the goal should certainly be within your abilities to achieve it. You can't say that I want to climb Mount Everest when you've never gone climbing before, right? So it has to be within your realm, I guess. Relevant means it should be relevant to your life right now. If you want to lose some weight, but the holidays are right around the corner, is that a relevant goal right now? Is that a good goal to work on just yet? Or is that something that's better put off until after the holidays or after your vacation or something like that? So the goal that you set should be relevant to your life right now. And time-bound means that you should give yourself a deadline because you can keep putting something off and keep procrastinating. I know I procrastinate quite a bit. So you definitely want to give yourself a deadline. So I'm really excited to start using this journal this month. And I'm going to walk you through how inside the ways this journal can help you. So in the beginning, there's some space for reflection. So you can get clear on your values. You can read through some of the points that they have about goal setting to guide you through setting your own goals. So they talk about making your goals specific, which we talked about, creating action steps, and setting yourself up for success because you definitely want to succeed. There's also a section to help you reflect on making space for your goals, and it could be there might be things in your life right now that are keeping you from working on your goal. So you want to make sure that you've dealt with that and allowed yourself the time, the energy, and the space to work on the goals that are important to you. You also are giving yourself permission and letting go of things that are getting in the way, and also setting yourself up with some support, a support network, a support system, anything that can help you move towards your end goal. Then there's a place to kind of visualize your goal. It's a vision board. Anything can go here. You can clip things out of magazines. You can draw pictures. You can, write words. Anything that inspires you to keep moving ahead. And then you get into the actual goal setting. Now there is space in each one of these Petite Planner journals for five goals. And they're all color-coded, as you can see. So it starts with writing down or checking off the goal type, either personal, career, or financial, or a blank for whatever, fill in the blank for whatever is relevant to you. And here is where you can write down your goal, write down why it's important to you, the date you start, the date you end, or the projected date that you want to end, which means that it's time-bound, any important dates within the goals, and then your actual finish date. Then you can write down your action plan, so the steps that you plan to use to achieve the goal up here. And then you can break that action plan down into small steps. And there are, I guess if you can see this chart, it goes small step, small step, small step, small step, right? So, and then you go there. So you actually have space for 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 small steps to get you towards your big goal. And then there's a goal check-in. And you can, let me count the pages. I haven't done this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, I think. So this Petite planner actually sets itself up very nicely for starting a new one each quarter. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this would be your days of the week. And then there's a space for notes. So your progress, you're checking in every single day and writing down the to-dos. I would probably use this more at the end of the day, whereas I write what I did and then I create my to-dos for the next day. And then I write down what I do and create my to-dos for the next day. That way, each day I can move closer to that end goal. And so this would be week 1, this would be week 2, this would be week 3, this would be week 4. And did I say quarter? See, I'm not even thinking. This would be a month. I think I just said a quarter. So I'm going to rewind, and go back. And so there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pages with 7 entries per page for each goal. Okay, so this could be a month's worth if you did a check-in every single day. But this is very open-ended. So if you were working on your goal once a week, then this would be 7 weeks. So it really just depends how often you want to check into your goal. This is really suited, though, for once a day, going through and tracking your progress and writing down your to-dos and your notes. So for this goal, this would be my goal for a month, because it's 4 weeks worth. And then there's a second goal, and then there's 4 weeks worth of pages. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then a third goal, a fourth goal, and as I said, they're all color-coded, and then a fifth goal. So it just depends how you want to use this book. If you're working on one goal at a time, this book would last you for 5 months. If you work on 2 goals at a time, it would last you less, because I can't do math in my head. But it really just depends how often you want to do your check-ins, how many goals you work on at the same time. For me, I feel like this would be a good book for a quarter, because I don't work on 5 big goals at once. I prefer to work on 1 or 2 at a time, work on them completely, get them done, and then move on to the next thing. So that, for me, that's how it would work for me. But everybody could be different in how many goals you set at once. So at the end of this book, after the last goal, there's a section where you can write down your accomplishments, write down your completed goals, write down the habits, the good habits, hopefully, that you've created throughout the whole process, and reflect upon the whole goal setting process. So how goal setting works for me, what I'm good at, what I can improve upon, habits that work for me, things that I let go, things that didn't work. and then what I'm grateful for. I am capable of this. I am proud of this. I know I can, because celebrating yourself, rewarding yourself for even small accomplishments is very important. And then looking ahead, goals that I still want to work on, habits that I would still like to work on, goals I'm excited to work on, habits I'm excited to add, values that I would like to focus on. So lots of space for reflection, and reflection is also very important. So when you set your new goals, you are setting yourself up again for success. And then there's a couple of dot grid pages for writing, and there is in my book a page of stickers and some instructions on how to, some tips on how to set goals. So this is the Erin Condren Petite Planner Goal Setting Journal. And if you're not familiar with the Erin Condren Petite Planner system, you can either use the book as a standalone book, or you can get a folio, which is this cover. And there's a lot of different colors to choose from. This is the navy one. It's my favorite, one of my favorites. I think it's called Midnight, maybe. And there's elastics inside where you can add in up to 4 journals. And there's also, if you want to purchase, they have these plastic type covers to protect your journal. This has a little like glitter on it. I don't know if you can see that it's actually a plastic cover that I have put on this book. So if you're using your book standalone, excuse me, a plastic cover often goes nice and protects the outside of it. So 4 books in one of these. If you had a 5th book, you can kind of fit it in there. It certainly works, but you can't elastic it in because there's only 4 elastics inside. So this is the Petite Planner Folio system. I really think it's cute. I have a couple different journals that I use daily, and if you're interested, I can walk you through them quickly. I set this up just now for January, so these front ones are not used yet, but I have 2 big projects that I'm working on, and I'll use this to track my goals for these projects. They're personal projects. One is organizing all my family photos from the past 20 years, so that's a big one. And one is the videos that I have a lot on the old VCR and 8mm and all kinds of home videos that I need to digitize and get into my, into a digital format. And so keeping track of my progress in that is important because I kind of forget where I leave off sometime. Then I have a gratitude journal here that I like to write in. And then this is my morning reflection journal that in the morning I kind of just like to meander my thoughts and do some journaling. So this is my Petite Planner Folio system, and I'm going to be adding this one in too because I really do like the guided goal setting and the reflection at the end, the tracking the progress. So there you have it. This is my goal setting plan for 2022. I hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Nina Nandagopal. You can find me at almostpractical.com, where I do a lot of Erin Condren reviews. I would really appreciate a thumbs up, and if you really like the video, please subscribe to this channel, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for joining me today.